the doctor said with a dark face. Under normal circumstances, it is indeed not easy to get pregnant at your age, but if you have a relationship for a long time and frequently, the chance of pregnancy is not small. For an elderly woman like you, our hospital woman obstetrics is also a very common thing. You are still in 50s when we are pregnant and give birth naturally. How dare Haraya let the medical staff continue talking and yelled, "Shut up, you are a quack doctor. If you continue, I will call the police to arrest you, and I will say it again. I am not pregnant." The doctor got angry, took out the report, and said word by word, "Do you think your mouth can tell us about our test report? The test report clearly states, you, Haraya, are pregnant. But for your own good, I kindly remind you that you can't use large doses of medicine. How can you treat it like a donkey liver and lungs?" Noah struggled to get up, grabbed the list from the doctor, and when he looked intently, he was trembling with anger. The old Mrs. Wilson saw that Noah's expression was extremely ugly, and she blurted out and asked, "Son, is it true? This bitch is really pregnant?" Hearing Mrs. Wilson's inquiry, Noah looked at the contents of the list, gritted his teeth, and nodded in a dark face. Seeing him nodded, old Mrs. Wilson immediately felt her heart hurt. She stretched out her hand to cover her heart and yelled. Both Harold and Wendy were very embarrassed. At this moment, they didn't know what to say. After all, it was their own mother, and she couldn't speak at this time as children. Noah gritted his teeth at this time. His eyes were bloodshot, and he glared at Haraya as if he was choosing someone and cursed angrily. "Bitch! Did you effecting sleep with other men in the black coal mine? With who you slept?" Haraya had collapsed at this time. She had already made an appointment with the obstetrics and gynecology doctor, and she would come over for the abortion operation on Monday. As long as the operation was completed, no one would know about her pregnancy. However, Haraya never dreamed that she would be sent to the hospital for a meal of dumplings, and then the blood was checked by a doctor in the emergency department of the hospital. The blood indicators of her pregnancy are already very obvious, as long as the blood test will be able to detect it. If she knew this was the case, she would killed myself, but would not eat dumplings. However, now that things have been revealed, she can only find ways to make up for herself. So she cried and said, "Noah, listen to my explanation. I also had difficulties." "Explain your mother! Your mother is struggling!" Noah suddenly roared hysterically and cursed. "You shameless bitch, dare to cuckold and sleep with other men, and you're pregnant with another man's wild species. I fecking kill you." While speaking, Noah rushed directly to Haraya, grabbed her hair, and flicked his face against Haraya. The impact is clearly audible. The painful Haraya wailed in pain. "Noah, listen to my explanation. I was all forced to be helpless." "Explanation? What else is there to explain? You are fucking dead. Cuckold master, I want your life." Old Mrs. Wilson almost didn't turn her back in anger. Her eyes were full of anger, and her hands trembled crazily. "The family is unfortunate. The family is unfortunate. Haraya, you bitch, as a woman, how can you do such a shameless thing, tarnish the reputation of our Wilson family, and put our Wilson family to shame? You slut should be immersed in pig cage. Go to hell." The Lady Wilson scolded and cursed Haraya with the most vicious words in the world, accompanied by Noah's brutal beating. Although Noah's body was still very weak at this time, being put on a green hat, something that all men couldn't bear, still stimulated the potential angry energy in his body, causing him to burst out all at once. Haraya was beaten up and screamed, but before she could beg for mercy, the old Mrs. Wilson picked up a broom in the ward, rushed up, and beat Haraya. The Lady Wilson is proud of her life and hates others for insulting the Wilson family. Now the eldest daughter-in-law came back with a wild species from outside. How could she accept it?